My friends, I stand before you today to share a story that has haunted me since the moment it was told to me. A story of tragedy, of loss, and of restless spirits seeking peace. A group of young Chinese women, full of hope and dreams, sought for a better life in Taiwan. They took a chance, but they trusted the wrong people. As a result, they paid the ultimate price, bound by their aspirations for better job opportunities in Taiwan, since the unprecedented pandemic had caused companies to downsize and lay off employees in China. They decided to pay a snakehead to smuggle them into Taiwan. After their fishing boat got intercepted by the Taiwanese Coast Guards, they got pushed overboard by the very ones they thought would help them. They found themselves struggling for their lives in the unforgiving sea. The Taiwanese Coast Guards, brave and swift in their actions, managed to save only 3 of these women. The rest, 6 drowned, 2 missing, their fate unknown. The survivors, pulled from the water, fought for their lives as the Coast Guards administered mouth resuscitation, refusing to let them slip away. After the 3 survivors had regained consciousness, they had gotten transported to a hospital in an ambulance. The 6 bodies that were able to get recovered were sent to the morgue in 2 separate vans. One of the vans got a flat tire while en route. One of its tires got punctured by a metal shard. After the driver swapped out the tire, then resumed driving, before reaching the morgue, the van had broken down. It was odd since the van got a full battery and half tank of fuel. Without further ado, the driver touched base with the other driver to inform him about his current situation. The other driver told him they had already dropped off the other bodies at the morgue and suggested calling a tow truck. After the tow truck driver arrived at the scene and saw the dead bodies inside the van, the tow truck driver denied service and left promptly after. Meanwhile, the passenger who was riding along decided to check on the bodies. After he saw the bodies with their eyes wide open, he mumbled, telling them that him and the driver were only there to help with good intentions. Hence, the driver was able to start the engine again. But even in death, these women did not find peace. After the bodies got dropped off, the coroner, tasked with examining their bodies, found their eyes wide open, filled with a deep, unyielding grudge, a grudge that seemed to follow those who came into contact with them. The coroner attempted to shut their eyes a few times, but their eyes kept on opening back up. Later, the coroner tried to take some photographic evidence with his camera and realized camera had malfunctioned. He took out another camera, and the same problem persisted. After the detective arrived to collect some evidence, he also encountered the same problem with his camera. A journalist, seeking to capture evidence of this tragedy after he snuck inside the morgue, found his camera malfunctioning in the presence of these restless spirits. He saw clearly the apparitions of these deceased victims with bloated faces, droopy hair, and soaked clothes standing together and glaring at him behind the coroner, their presence chilling him to the bone. And later, he suffered a mysterious swelling in his leg after he got home, a physical manifestation of the supernatural forces at play. That evening, he had a vivid nightmare. In his nightmare, he saw the apparitions of these deceased women standing next to his bed, sobbing inconsolably and complaining about being cold. The fishermen who fished near the coast would often hear voices crying out for help from the sea, and they would see figures struggling in the water, but as their boat approached these figures would disappear into thin air. The Coast Guards got summoned to the scene a few times. They also witnessed the same strange phenomena. The law enforcement personnel involved in this case, the fishermen, the journalist, and the Coast Guards who had witnessed the strange phenomena, all haunted by nightmares of these women, weeping and accusing them of cruelty. And the snakehead, the one responsible for this tragedy, haunted by the spirits of the deceased women. Tormented in his dreams, hearing whispers in his ears alone in his cell, he could no longer bear the weight of his guilt. In the darkness of his cell, he chose to end his own life, unable to escape the torment that followed him. The guards discovered his lifeless body hung by the neck with bed linens the next day. His other crews who helped shove the women overboard into the unforgiving sea, too, met a tragic end. struck down by cardiovascular arrest, their faces frozen in terror, a testament to the fear that consumed them in their final moments. Whatever they saw really scared them to death. But there is hope, my friends. The fishermen, the journalist, the law enforcement personnel, they came together to make offerings to these restless spirits near the sea. Burning paper currencies and clothes, hiring a Taoist monk to perform a ritual, seeking to calm the souls of the departed and guide them to a temple where they can find peace. And finally, the bodies closed their eyes, ready for their final rest. The spirits, appeased by the gestures of those who sought to bring them peace, found solace in the offerings made in their honor. So I urge you, my friends, to remember this story, to remember the lives lost, the souls restless, and the power of redemption. Let us not forget the tragedy that befell these women. Let us not forget the lessons learned from their untimely demise. May we always seek to bring peace to those who have been wronged, to offer solace to those who suffer, and to remember the power of compassion in the face of tragedy. Let us honor the memory of those who perished, and may their spirits finally find the peace they seek.